So we have a new moon, sun and moon, 0 degrees Pisces. And Saturn is about to enter Pisces. In fact, let me just have a look here. Let me give me a geek out moment on the, see if I have the date. Yes. Yeah. So we have Saturn today at 28 degrees Aquarius. So I think it's a week. I'm not sure. It goes into Pisces where it'll stay for like 2.5 years. So right now we are opening the gateway, the water gateway, and I feel particularly aligned to speak to this right now because I'm immersed in the water energies. So if you know your chart at all, knowing where your Pisces energy is will give you some information about the journey of Saturn through Pisces in the coming 2.5 years. Now, Saturn has a bad rap astrologically. It's often seen as the limiter, the old grumpy old man, the controller, the one who puts the foot down or says no, the structure builder, all of that. And all of that is true. And here in form, now I'm understanding why we had this meditation, because I had no idea what that meditation was going to be until we did it. While we chose to come into form, right? Those of us who study the Course in Miracles understand that God did not create this world, we did. In a choice to experience separation, imagined separation from God. We're not really separate from God, it's a dream. But in the separation, we have form and structure. And if we did not have form and structure, we would be like the ocean, which is nice and all, but it doesn't really serve us if we're like have bodies and living on this earth. So we can see Saturn as the constrictor, the restrictor, rules and regulations, top-down control, and all that's true. But Saturn is also an ally. Saturn says, take one step before the other. Don't skip steps. Saturn says, put a good foundation beneath you before you build a castle in the sky. Otherwise, it's just a castle in the sky. Saturn rewards diligence and commitment. So Saturn also gives us the gold at the end of a job well done. And so we can befriend Saturn. Now, Saturn in Pisces, that's not the most comfortable place for Saturn. Now, I'm born with Saturn in Pisces. Anyone in 1965, 66, a little bit 67, and perhaps 64 in that range will have Saturn in Pisces. Depending on the month, on those end years, 64 and 67, but basically most that generation has Saturn in Pisces. This can be a very challenging time because Saturn wants to create structure and Pisces wants to dissolve everything and just become the ocean again, right? The fish is swimming in opposite directions and the tides and the waves and all of that, even though there's some sense of structure in a sense. If you think about water, water takes the shape of, or any liquid takes the shape of the container it's in, where Saturn's like, wait, we need a container. So how could this play out? In many, many ways, many ways. We can see one of the things I listened to Pam Gregory recently, structured water. And when waters are poisoned, they lose their structure, and that includes putting fluoride or chlorine in the waters of the tap water. So praying over our water helps to create more structure. So having a water bottle, and I have a Sharpie with me, I have to bring the Sharpie and the water bottle together to put I love you, thank you on it. So that's my next thing. Now I'm committed to doing it today because I've spoken it out loud. So creating, if you're familiar with the work of Dr. Emoto, does anyone know who Dr. Emoto is? He did a lot of experiments. He's passed now, but other people have carried that torch forward. He's done a lot of experiments with water. So he would label water in a jar and then freeze it. And if he put loving messages, I love you, thank you, blessings, that kind of thing, and then he would look at the ice structure under the microscope. They would form these beautiful, symmetrical snowflake-like structures. And if we if they put things like I hate you and die and all of that, it would be all this distortion. So people now who are studying water, if they study tap water, it's just like dots and lines, like almost like Morse code, and there's no pattern, there's no structure. So one of the things we're going to be seeing in New Earth, I'm channeling now, the dragons are here with me. I'll back into telling you about them if I haven't already. One of the things about this new Earth is going to be new technology that supports the restructuring of natural waters. The waters of this Earth have been poisoned greatly, and that is partly intentional, partly unconscious. It is a part of the experience of separation from God, the sense that we have sinned, and therefore we poison ourselves by projecting outward bad guys who do that for us. So here we are with poisoned waters, with islands full of plastic in the middle of the sea, with fluoride and chlorine in our tap water in the United States and other places to keep us clean, with parasites and bacteria in other places where brush your teeth with a little bit of water in Laos and you're going to be shit and diarrhea for days. The waters have been poisoned and they have lost their structure. Restructure of water is a way to work with the energies of Saturn moving through Pisces, whether that is learning about it, praying for it, praying over your water, over your liquids, praying at the sea, thanking the waters of the rivers, anything you can do to offer structure. And structure does not mean the rigidity of a cement building. It means the natural state of the waters in their biochemical essence as a structure that is healing, that is whole for consumption, for support, for life force energy of Mother Gaia. So Saturn transiting Pisces, think of the structure of water, pray for the structure of water. There are those who are holding already the spiritual and practical technology to clean the waterways using plants that eat plastic, for example. Those will not be able to come online fully until the consciousness of Earth is up a little bit in order to be available for that. Right now, it is not yet the consciousness is not yet fully ready for it, but it doesn't have to take long. It is the 100th monkey concept. It is the concept that as more people wake up to hold the field of light, then it is possible. At the practical level, we can also understand that those who have brought forward technologies to support life have actually been at risk and sometimes killed, or their technology taken and twisted in a new way. So there is a literal practical 3D reason why some of these technologies are not quite out yet, but it comes back to the same thing. It is about frequency and consciousness of all of humanity. So let us not underestimate the value of the work that we do with every little prayer for the waters. So that is the message that wants to come through. I am supported now by dragon allies. This is, I never would have thought this. Anyway, they come through with a message of great delight. They have been with me all of my life and are thrilled that I finally see them. It's taken a lot. I'm a little bit slow. Even my high school mascot was a dragon. My son loved dragons from the time he was a tiny little boy. So the dragons are here. I'm working with the elemental dragons of the waters right now, of course, because I'm by the sea and the rivers. And it is they who called me to do this entire Southeast Asia journey with the waters, with the reservoirs that I've been in, the hot springs, the rivers I've communed with, and now the ocean. So working deeply by pulling in light, sending it out, much like we did just now in the meditation, bringing the light into the heart and emanating it out on the exhale, and sending it on the backs of the dragons to circle the earth. So, wow, it's coming through so fast. So please forgive me if this is too fast, but what's coming through now is to share the ancient guardians of the earth are the dragons. The dragons have, like so many other things, been dismembered and reversed, inverted. So we can think about, for example, the symbol of the pentagram as an analogy. The pentagram with the point pointing up is the representation of the actual movement of the planet Venus relative to our planet. So if you were to watch one full cycle of Venus, I forget how long it takes, several years, she will actually move in the heavens like this, in the form of a five-pointed star. If you slice an apple in, if you put an apple upright, you slice it this way, you'll see the 5 stars of the seeds, right? So the 5-pointed star upright is an ancient symbol of Divine Mother. It is the ancient symbol of the goddess. It was inverted to become the symbol of Satanism. The cross of matter, right? The physical matter and the choice to go vertical back to God. This is the original cross. It's inverted in Satanism to be this way, right? Another inversion. So these are examples, they're illustrations. The dragons had originally been guardians of this earth in a different dimension. Okay, they're not necessarily in this dimension. They're not in this dimension. We are not in the same dimension as they are. They are energy lines. They are great ley lines of the earth. They move around the earth very quickly. And they were you could say dismembered at a different dimensional level. And they have been remembered by guardians of this earth plane, by other dimensional beings. And they are now actively engaged in supporting humanity's awakening. So there are, what I'm gathering, what I see, what I feel is, you could say there are dragons of all 4 elements: the earth, the air, the fire, and the water. So I'm working very closely with the water dragons right now. And so you can feel them moving in the tides. If you watch the tides, you can see the white frothy foams. If you diffuse your view, just like those pictures where it looks like a bunch of colored dots, and then you shift your view and all of a sudden an image comes into view, you can see dragon-like energy in the waves cresting. You can see dragon-like energy in the voluptuous curves of mountains, the earth dragons, and the air dragons in the clouds, not the chemtrails, but the clouds, and even the movement of wind, the way it'll buffet things and move. And in the fire, of course, we know of, the dragons, fire-breathing dragons, but meditating on flames, you may see them as well. I saw